Legacy is not something you buy. It is not something handed to you. It is something you carve with sweat, discipline, and an unbreakable will. Real Madrid is not the greatest club in history because of one player or one moment. It is the weight of generations who refuse to settle for average. Every shirt, every badge, every victory is built on the backs of men who treated football like a war for immortality. Legacy means when you step on that pitch, you are not just playing for yourself. You are carrying the pride of those who came before you and the fear of those who will face you. When people speak of Real Madrid, they don't just mention trophies. They speak about an identity, the hunger to win, the refusal to bow down, the belief that no matter who stands across the field, the end belongs to Madrid. That is legacy. It is not just about winning one Champions League. It is about making the world believe you belong to the final every single season. It is about walking into stadiums where opponents already feel defeated, not because of what you might do, but because of what has already been done for decades. Legacy does not come without rivals. Messi and Barcelona created battles that pushed standards to limits no one thought possible. To protect a legacy, you must fight against forces that want to destroy it. That rivalry is what sharpened greatness. That fire is what made every goal, every victory, and every title taste like destiny. Legacy is not just built in celebrations. It is also built in battles where your back is against the wall and you still rise higher. But legacy is fragile. You cannot depend on what has been done yesterday, because every season demands proof again. Often that is the secret many never eye and understands. Legacy is alive. It breathes, it grows. It demands constant feeding with sacrifice and ambition. If you stop chasing, it fades. If you get comfortable, it dies. That is why only a few clubs, only a few players, only a few names are spoken with respect decades later. The ultimate truth is this: legacy is a choice. Every training session, every match, every late night sacrifice, it all builds something far greater than numbers on a scoreboard. The secret of legacy is not about football alone. It is about creating something eternal, something no critic, no rival, no era can erase. When you understand this, you no longer play for applause, you play for history. Rivalry is the fire that forges greatness. Without rivals, victories feel hollow. Without challenges, talent remains asleep. The truth is, it takes an enemy, a challenger, a force standing in your way to awaken the beast inside you. Barcelona wasn't just another opponent for Real Madrid. They were the storm that forced Madrid to become indestructible. And Messi wasn't just a player. He was a shadow always pushing you to shine brighter, to prove that no matter how good the other side is, there will always be a bigger mountain to climb, and you are that mountain. The beauty of rivalry is that it demands consistency. One great performance is never enough because your rival is always waiting, always working, always planning to strike back. You don't get to relax, you don't get to enjoy comfort, because rivalry doesn't sleep. It's what turns ordinary seasons into legends, what transforms El Clasico into more than a football match, into a battlefield where pride, history, and destiny collide. Rivalry teaches you that every mistake is punished and every weakness is exposed. Only the strongest mind survives it. When you face a rival like Messi and Barcelona, you are not just competing against a team. You are competing against their legacy, their city, their millions of believers. That pressure would crush most players, but that is the point of rivalry. It filters out the weak, leaving only the warriors who thrive under fire. The bigger the rival, the greater the glory when you win. Rivalry teaches you that fear is useless. The only answer is to prepare harder, to fight longer, and to rise higher. But rivalry is not just about battles on the pitch. It shapes your entire mentality. Every training session becomes war. Every goal in practice is scored with an enemy in mind. Rivalry forces you to demand more from yourself because you know your opponent is not slowing down, not quitting, not giving you a break. And that is why rivalry is a gift. It turns talented players into legends, and it transforms football into something larger than sport, into history written in sweat and blood. The secret of rivalry is this: you don't hate your rivals, you thank them. You thank them for forcing you to go beyond your limits, for creating moments that the world will never forget, for pushing you into immortality. Without rivalry, there is no greatness, no fire, no legacy. A true champion embraces the rival not as an obstacle, but as the sharpest blade that forges his armor. And when you finally stand on top, you know deep inside, it was the rivalry that made you unstoppable. The future belongs to those who are hungry enough to chase it. You can look at a player like Mbappé and see exactly what hunger looks like: speed that kills, ambition that refuses to be quiet, and a fire in his eyes that says he was born to take the torch. The future of football is never given. It is stolen by the ones who are willing to run faster, fight harder, and believe deeper than the rest. That is the law of the game, the law of life. The next generation is always knocking, but only the strongest break through the door. The secret of the future is that it never waits. You cannot pause it. You cannot beg it to slow down. You cannot ask it to respect the past. The future respects only one thing: effort. If you stop working, if you stop growing, the future will eat you alive and replace you without mercy. Mbappé is proof that the game is always evolving, always searching for the next warrior to carry the banner. The ones who survive are not the ones with the most talent, but the ones with the most discipline to stay relevant when the world is changing. What Mbappé represents is not just a young star. He represents the reminder that football never ends with one era. When legends fade, new kings rise. That is the beauty and the brutality of the sport. Nobody owns the throne forever. The only way to protect your place in history is to work so relentlessly that even when the future takes the spotlight, your name still echoes in every stadium, your shadow still hangs over every record. Your impact is too heavy to erase. The future also teaches us humility. No matter how many titles you win, no matter how many goals you score, there is always someone younger, faster, and hungrier waiting for their chance. But this is not a threat, it is a challenge. It is the reason champions never get comfortable. They know the future is always testing them, always asking, are you still willing to sacrifice? Are you still willing to suffer? Are you still willing to bleed for greatness, even when you've already conquered the world? Those who answer yes remain untouchable, no matter how bright the future shines. The secret of the future is this: respect it, but never fear it. Let the young lions come, let them roar. The future does not erase greatness, it proves it. Because when the next generation rises, they rise chasing your shadow, measuring themselves against your records, trying to climb the mountain you already built. And that is the ultimate victory, not just winning in your era, but building a future where even the brightest stars cannot escape your name. That is how immortality is created. Discipline is the invisible crown that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Talent may give you a moment, but discipline gives you a lifetime. The secret is simple. Without discipline, nothing lasts. You can score one beautiful goal, you can have one shining season, but only discipline transforms you into a name that history can never ignore. Discipline is not glamorous, it is not loud, it is the silent, daily war that you fight when no one is watching. It is the decision to train when your body screams for rest, to eat clean when temptation whispers, to stay focused when distractions pull at you from every direction. Discipline is sacrifice. Everyone dreams of glory, but only the disciplined are willing to bleed for it. Nights out with friends, comfort foods, careless habits, Discipline kills them all because it knows that every weakness today is a defeat tomorrow. Discipline is not about denying life. It is about choosing a higher purpose. It is about looking at your future and saying, "Nothing will stand between me and what I was born to achieve." The truth is, anyone can love the game, but only the disciplined love the grind. Discipline also means obsession with the smallest details. Champions don't just train harder, they train smarter. They repeat the same movements thousands of times until perfection becomes instinct. They study, they analyze, they adjust. To outsiders, it looks like madness. To a champion, it is simply normal. Because discipline does not ask for applause, it asks for precision, and when the world finally sees the result, the power, the speed, the consistency, they call it talent. But the secret is, it was discipline all along. The beauty of discipline is that it outlives motivation. Motivation is fragile. It comes and goes like the wind. But discipline is permanent. It doesn't care if you feel tired. It doesn't care if you feel uninspired. It doesn't care if the crowd is cheering or silent. Discipline simply commands you to show up, to put in the work, to never cheat yourself. That is why the disciplined outlast the talented. Because when motivation dies, discipline carries you through the darkness. The secret of discipline is this: it is the foundation of greatness, the armor that protects your dreams, the engine that never stops. Without it, legacy is impossible, rivalry destroys you, and the future replaces you. With it, you become untouchable. Discipline is the bridge between ambition and immortality. It is the difference between being remembered as a moment or being remembered forever. Belief is the weapon that no defender can touch, no critic can steal, and no rival can destroy. The truth is, before you ever score a goal, before you ever lift a trophy, before the world ever calls you great, you must first see it in your mind. Belief is the foundation of everything. It is the voice inside that says, "I will not break. I will not quit. I was made for this." Without belief, all the training, all the discipline, all the sacrifice means nothing. With it, even the impossible becomes only a matter of time. Belief does not come from luck, it comes from preparation. Every hour in the gym, every sprint, every repetition builds not just the body, but the mind. You begin to trust yourself because you know how much work you've put in when nobody was watching. Belief is not arrogance, it is certainty earned through sweat. It is standing on the pitch and knowing that no matter how many fans scream against you, no matter how big the stage is, you belong there because you paid the price to belong. Belief is also resilience because the world will doubt you, coaches will bench you, fans will criticize you, rivals will laugh at you, and sometimes even your own mind will whisper that you're not enough. But belief silences all of it. Belief says, "Watch me." It turns insults into fuel, failures into lessons, and pressure into power. Belief is not about never falling. It is about rising so many times that eventually the world realizes nothing can hold you down. The greatest victories are not won with your legs or with your talent. They are won with belief. Because when fatigue hits, when your body feels like breaking, it is belief that carries you through. When the game is on the line, when the stadium feels like it's collapsing on you, it is belief that makes you stand tall and demand the ball. Belief is the secret that transforms an ordinary player into a leader, a warrior, a champion. Without it, you are just another name on the list. With it, you become unforgettable. The secret of belief is this: you must see yourself as a champion long before the world does. You must believe in your greatness even when the scoreboard doesn't. You must believe when it rains, when it hurts, when it seems like the dream is slipping away. Because belief is not just confidence, it is destiny written in your mind before it ever becomes reality. And when belief meets discipline, rivalry, legacy, and the hunger for the future, you don't just play football, you define it.